Hey guys, this is day 2 of transformations, and so let's get started. All right, if you notice here, in this original, there's now a little letter A in front of f of x. So let's see what's going to happen with that. Yesterday we saw a little negative in front, and that was a reflection. But if we put an actual number in front of it, let's see what happens. So I'm going to put a number, and that number is going to be greater than 1, and the number is going to be 2, and it's in front of the f of x, so it's going to affect the y. So it's kind of like saying 2 times y. So this would become 1, this would become 2, 0, 2, 8. So I'm going to get rid of that, and let's see what happens. So I'll go ahead and we're going to share the same vertex, but then what's going to happen to the points, let's just do a few of them. -2, 8, and so I'm also going to have one over here. 2, 8, 1, 2. So what's going to happen, if you notice, is it's getting skinnier. So we call this, we're going to jump on down to this part of your notes. This is called a vertical stretch. A vertical stretch by a factor, and it's important we note the factor of A. And I want you to notice here, when A is greater than 1. But what if A is less than 1? So if you look at transformation 8, it has 1/4. So it'd be like multiplying y by 1/4. So this would become 1. This would become 1/4. This would become 1. This would become 1/4 or 0.25, however you want to look at that. And this would become 1. So what that's going to do, and I'm not going to take the time to graph all these points, but what it's going to do is you're going to start graphing points. And in fact, let me use a different color. I'm going to use a different color because I'm going to be cool like that. If it's going to let me use a different color, draw, red. And so this time, it's actually I don't know why it's doing that. It's going to flatten it out. It's almost like it's going to squish it down. And we call this a vertical compression. So these are the words you need to remember, is a vertical stretch and a vertical compression by a factor of A, no matter what that A is, but we do know that A is going to be less than 1. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, now if you notice, now we have the letter B. If you look right here in this transformation, we have a letter B. It's in front of the X, and it's inside the parentheses. So it's inside the parentheses, so it's going to affect the X. So if I look here, it'd be like saying 2 times X. Now, I'm going to take that back for just a moment, because what did we say about X's before? It's always the opposite of what we think. So actually, we're not going to do times 2. Whoops. Okay, it's being weird on me. I'm actually going to multiply. Don't know what's going on here with my pen. Oh, I know what's going on here. Okay, I'm actually going to multiply by a half. I'm going to do the opposite. So instead of multiplying by 2, I'm going to multiply by a half. So this is going to end up being a -1. This would be a -1/2, 0, +1/2, and 1. So what will that do to it? So if I graph these points, I'll have the same vertex because it's not shifting up and down or right or left or doing anything like that. What it's going to do is it's going to make this skinnier. And we call this a horizontal compression by a factor of, and this time it's the letter B, which just means just whatever it is, okay? But again, B is more than 1, and so it does the opposite. So that's confusing because when we did the compression that was affecting the Y, it flattened it out. But now this compression looks more like a stretch. I'm going to go ahead and change colors because I think that just helps you with everything. So now, what do you think? What do you think if I have what's in front of the X be a fourth, what would the opposite of that be? That's right, 4. So I'm going to multiply everything by 4. So this becomes a -8, a -4, a 0, a 4, and an 8. And what do you think that's going to do? Correct. I have the same vertex, but it's going to flatten it out. And this time, what do you think we're going to call it? Do you think we're going to call it compression? We did it with the vertical, but now we're talking about a horizontal stretch. I don't know what happened with that. Let me erase that. Horizontal stretch by a factor of whatever B is, which is always going to be something less than 1. That's the important thing. It's less than 1 on this one. So a lot of opposites. So let me just show you something that we can do. I'm going to go ahead. We're done with these notes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up Desmos. Desmos will be your friend on this. So let me go ahead and change. I have to do some stuff here. Whoops. Get it, bring it back. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put f of x equals y. Now I'm going to, if you notice down here in the left-hand corner, there's this little thing that looks like a keypad. And when I click it, it opens up. And there's a thing that's squared, so I can square it. Okay, whoops. And I put a y there. That wasn't too smart. Let me put an x there. Okay, so now you have your parabola. Now I want to show you also that instead of saying f of x, I could say y. I would get the same thing. So nothing really changes. So then if I say, I'm just going to pick one of these. I'm going to do, because it's sitting in front of me, I have some notes sitting in front of me. I'm going to go ahead and type in this one, f of 2x. All right, so there again, y equals f of 2. Oh, I forgot. I was like, what's going on here? Okay. And so I'm going to take that off. Okay, here we go. So now I have 2x squared. So you can see that on the red is the original parabola, the original function. And now in blue, and that's what's so cool about Desmos is they color code it for you. They put the next one. Now let me go ahead and type in this one. Well, and again, Desmos is kind of new for me too, so I can kind of mess things up here. Okay, let me remember how to do this. I hit the arrow key over. Now I can do the keypad key. Whoops, it was already there. There we go, squared. And now you can see exactly what we did in the notes. You can see now on Desmos. So you can use Desmos. It's a wonderful thing that you can use that makes this super duper easy. You will have to remember words like compression, stretch, reflection, translation. So just remember that that will be your responsibility. But as far as what does it do to the parabola, you can always just type it in. Super cool. So with that, I think I am done. All right. I will see you later, guys. Bye-bye.